Good afternoon. Welcome back to Real Life Adventures. A couple weeks ago, went out with the family. We went to Cumberland Island National Park. Took the ferry boat out. We stayed out there all day. Was lounging around, everything like that. Well, whenever it came to lunchtime, we wanted to set up underneath these trees and just relax and take a look at the horses and just the scenery. I mean, that place is beautiful. If you ever get a chance, once again, it's Cumberland Island National Seashore Park. Go there. It's amazing. However, while we was out there, carried my day pack like I always do, filled with snacks, drinks, and everything else. But the only thing that I brought to set on was this microfiber towel. This is my hiking towel. I take this towel with me every time I go out hiking, stuff like that. I brought this with me, and this is the only thing that we had to set on. It wasn't very big because there was 4 of us that went. Unfortunately, Sky didn't make that trip. She was still working, so just 4 of us went for that. And it made me start looking around for a different type of picnic mat, a beach mat, something like it, some sort of beach towel or something that we could put out. So I started looking, and everything was big, bulky, weighted, you know, things like that. But I wanted something that I could always keep in my backpack and just bring out whenever I wanted. So I kept looking and looking and looking. I saw an advertisement for a ground tarp, which made me look into those a little bit more. And then I ran across this. The ground tarp. So if you take a look at the size, it's comparable in size right here. They both squish down pretty good. They're both roughly about the same size as far as area in your backpack that it's going to cover. However, this is only this big. It's what? That's about 3.5 feet by 2 feet roughly. That's all the bigger that the towel is itself. And also, the towel is not waterproof, gets sand and stuff stuck into it, or whatever the case may be is. So this ground tarp that I found by Onewind, take this thing out. Now this is roughly 8.5 feet by 4.5 feet. So you see, for the same size of packaging in your backpack, you get a whole lot more. And with this is a lot more versatile than what that was. And if you've been a fan of the channel for any amount of time, you know I like a piece of gear that has multiple different uses. This has multiple different uses because it is waterproof. So if any time you're out there and you forgot to bring a pack cover, or you forgot to bring your tarp or shelter, or whatever the case may be, you always have this with you. Just take it, toss it right around. It's plenty big enough to go over all your gear. And you have an instant little rain jacket, rain poncho, whatever you want to call it. Also with this here, has stakeout points on it. Now this does not come with stakes or lines or any type of attachments with it. It just comes with what you saw in the packaging right there. But what it does have, if you take it to the beach, such as this, and in the corners here, you got these little pockets where you can put sand in it and it'll hold out flat for you. Just take it out, take some sand, tuck it right up in the corner. Then you can just set it on the ground tarp, whatever you need to. You don't have to worry about all your stuff getting sand all over it or anything like that. And unlike the beach towels, this doesn't hold any sand, so whenever I pick it up, all the sand is going to come right off. Just lay it out, and now look how much coverage that you have. Versus, if you take what I was carrying for the same amount of space, so this is what we had to work with whenever we was out there versus that. Okay, so you can see here the size comparison. For the same amount of packable space that you're carrying, and it's lighter weight, you get a lot more coverage and a lot more versatility. This thing, once again, is a towel, so it's made to soak up the water off of you. This repels the water. This repels the sticks or the sand or whatever else. You just pick it up, fluff it off, and there's nothing left on it. All right, so one of the things that you can do with it is just put it out as a simple ground tarp, just like this. It's not a problem. Kick off your shoes if you like, walk on it. Actually feels real nice. All right, so when you're out there on your picnic as well and you've got it laid out, everything's all around, the food and everything like that, there's always seems to be some sort of mess. So you get a little bit of ketchup, splashes on it, a little bit of mustard. You got a mess, right? Not a big deal. Just get you some water from wherever you got it. I mean, you could even take it to the pond and dump it in there if you wanted. Shake it off. No problems. It'll be dry in no time. However, if you're out there in some type of survival situation and you have your trekking poles on you and a few other things such as tent stakes, guy lines, whatever, you can set this thing up as a bit of a shelter, which I'm going to show you now. Come right in here, lay down, keep the elements off of you and everything, and you'll be good to go. So that's one way to set it up. However, let's say you have a real hard driving rain coming in from this side, okay? So we're gonna set up a little bit different. You can climb right in here, get your gear in here, and you can be protected from the driving rain. Now there's multiple ways that you could set this up, right? If this is more of a survival shelter, this is not a permanent shelter or anything like that. This is just something that you can pack down, throw right in your pack, carry it around. You won't even really know it's there, but if you need it, you've got it. And you can set it up like this and a couple other different configurations. Something else I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna get my hammock set up right back here. I always carried a piece of plastic, thick, like constructor's plastic, that I always put down underneath my hammock, just to keep my feet clean when I get in and out of the hammock and things of that nature. So I'm gonna show you the size of that compared to the size of this and how it lays out underneath as well. Here was the piece of plastic that I always carried with me. All right, it's thick constructor's plastic. This is what I always lay out on the ground right here, just like this. So I lay this out. This is what I always step on. This is what I stand on. This is where I put my shoes. My camp chair that I bring with me. I always bring a hiking chair with me. It sits right here so that I can put stuff on it. So this is what I always use. As you see, this pretty much has one use. I do actually put this underneath my pack cover just for an added layer of protection whenever it's raining or whatever. However, that's about it. That's kind of where its uses are limited to, without any type of grommets, attachment points, or anything else. So we take this. Not only can I use this in my day bag because it's so lightweight and versatile, now I can take this hiking lay this out underneath my gear, and as you see, stand on it, walk on it, do whatever I want to, and it is good to go. So it does the same purpose as that, but it has more that it can offer. All right, so now I can just take off my shoes. I don't have to worry about getting anything all over my feet or anything like that. It's good to go. And it's a lighter package that has more versatility. So here's one other way to use it. As you can see here, a lot of coverage underneath. And if you want, you can always go ahead and stake it out as well. That way, just in case at night it starts raining or whatever the case may be, it doesn't go anywhere. And then one other thing I was thinking about trying, I'm gonna get my tarp set up. And then with my tarp set up, a lot of people that do hammock camping talk about there's not much privacy. So what I'm gonna do is on one side, I'm gonna connect it to the same areas that the guidelines are attached to, and see if I can close off an area where I can still kind of have some head coverage, and I don't have to worry about making that angle so far down to where people can't see it. I can still keep that angle up some. So I'm going to try that now as well. All right, first thing it looks like to do, just simply take one in, stick it right over there, bring this one over here around. You can just drape it like that if you wanted to. Bring this in back up. So that's one thing you could do. Quick, simple, easy, blocks it so you have some privacy back here behind it. Now mind you, I just threw that up really quick. I didn't use any stakes to stake out the bottom. I do have stakes, I could do that with it. This tarp as well is a 13-foot by 10-foot Roman Venture. So this is much wider than what this is. This is roughly 8.5 feet. This is 13 feet, okay? So you can see I just brought it straight over. And I could always take these sides down if I wanted to. And I could lower down my poles and I could stake this right into the ground. So I could do that as well. Just put this thing straight into a little hide right here without a problem. And it blocks, gives you some privacy. That was actually a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. And there you have it. That is the Onewind ground tarp, Silnylon ground tarp. Many uses like the other products. Most recent one I just did was I bought a new pack cover because I was interested in a gear hammock, and the one that Onewind has actually doubles as a backpack cover and a gear hammock, so I got that. Love that thing. So whenever I was looking at the new ground tarps, I weren't actually looking at ground tarps. What I was hunting for was a beach towel of sorts, or something that I could use just whenever we went out to a park or whatever the case maybe is. I didn't really find anything that I liked until I ran across this particular ground tarp. But then I got to looking into its different uses, its versatility and things like that. And like I said earlier, you know me, if it has more than one use, I would definitely look into it. And this absolutely has more than one use. There are a couple things that I would like to see different though, right? Let me show you those. One thing I would like to see is right here in this pocket where you put the sand. As you just saw in the video of out at the beach and putting sand in, it was super windy, so I actually had to put some sand along the back side of it to make sure the wind didn't catch it. Well, that happens with anything, with towels, with anything, you got to do it. But something that I think would be an awesome feature to add is if right around here in this area, put a channel in and use some shot cord around it. So once you fill this little pocket with sand, you could tighten up all that shot cord, and then you're just going to have a pouch full of sand. You're not going to have to worry about it going anywhere, not going to have to worry about refilling it or anything like that. It would just completely secure it and it would all be in there. Something else that I think would be really neat, and this is more of a personal preference addition, just to be on the survival side because I like multiple functions of everything. It's right here in the pocket. Say you take a little piece of Velcro and you put it right here to where it comes out to where you can wrap it over and just cinch something down, right? Right here in this area, sew in a tube, like a 2.5, 3 foot tube down like this that you can roll up and just stick right here. And the tube would be made out of this exact same material. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy. But that way you can set this up in the trees or whatever as a channel for water to flow down into here, and it can be a rain catch. That way if you are out there in a survival situation, you can always collect good clean water from the rain. You can still use it as that right now, but the pocket will fill up, or all 4 pockets if you set it up, you know, like over a ridge line or something like that. You could have your pockets fill up, then you could just drink out of the pockets or empty them. But if you had a little area right here to where you could put a tube on this and run it down, that would be amazing. And this would be the ultimate in survival and daily use tarp slash ground cloth, whatever you want to call it. It would just be, it'd be an amazing addition to what is already an awesome product. Well, in sticking with Onewind's, I guess company motto, it would be, make home where you are. This does that, along with their hammock. I haven't used their tarps yet. As y'all know, I recently got this Roman Ventures tarp, and I like it. I mean, it's huge. That's the one thing I was going for. I wanted space. I wanted coverage. As you all know, I just like comfort out here. All right, and having a big, huge area. I mean, look how big this porch area is off the front of my tarp here. I got plenty of coverage everywhere. I have the tarp set extremely high. I mean, I can almost completely stand up in here, and I'm 6 foot tall. That's awesome. So I went with the bigger tarp, all right? However, I first started off with Onewind products with the cinch buckles. And now I've got the hammock was next, and I loved it. So I've been looking at some of the rest of their products and everything. They make an amazing product at a great price. And that's really surprising in today's market. You know, so who knows? You never can tell what the next piece of gear I may or may not get is, but this is an awesome addition. This will be in my day pack at all times, and whenever I take my longer hikes, it will definitely be coming with me as well. Like I said, just the versatility versus that plastic sheeting that I was using, this is much better than that. All right, has a lot of different uses in it. But as always, thank you all very much for watching. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.